Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning, and I hope you are in good conditions during this EKP or during these lockdown situations. Today I will share to you how to make a rendering. I mean, this one is a theory base, and I will show you a little bit about the process of rendering for lighting, rendering for animations, and also let me see what happened later. Yeah. Okay. Um, Before we start, actually, what is the meaning of rendering in your mind? When you hear render, when you hear the word of render, this is about based on the software, right? And you can see some of the software for design, especially for design, they give you a part for renderings process. Yeah. Normally, the process of rendering is in the last of your design process because you want to get a good visualization of your design. Especially, it can be for animations, it can be for lighting, yeah, and interface and so forth. So many kind of rendering we can try, and let's we check and we learn what actually the meaning of rendering in theory. Let's we start. All right. Okay, when you see this one, yeah, this is real or not? This is seems like real, right? This is this object with this glass, yeah, and this coffee seems like real, but actually this one is not real. This is a render result. Yeah. This is a render result that we can make it in the software. Many kind of software for rendering process. For me, I will use the Autodesk Inventor for my objects rendering. Okay, and also you can see this one seems like real, but actually this is a design, not real. This is a rendering process for lighting and also for coloring and so forth. Yeah. All right. Again, I just want to show you several examples that meaning of render, so you can understand what is the meaning of render actually. So this is seems like one building, one house with lightings rendering process, image processing, image like a material also, right? Material rendering and lighting rendering, yeah, from the suns like this. And also we can see this is actually not real, unreal, but this is a renderings image result. Okay, the quality of rendering is actually based on our quality, uh, how many skin that we have render. Later I will show you how the process of rendering little bit in Autodesk Inventor. So based on these three example, what is the rendering? So in the theory, rendering is wait. Okay, 3D rendering is a creative process that is similar to photography or cinematography because you are lighting and staging skins and producing image. So rendering is the process of creating a raster image based on the 3D objects in a skin. A renderer is used to calculate the appearance of the materials attached to the objects in the skin and how lightings and shadow are calculated based on lighting placed in the skin. And the fourth is environmental and exposure settings of the render can be adjusted to control the final rendered image. Okay, in here we can see the rendering process includes the lighting process, material process, and also it can be coloring process of our 3D object. And also we can put environmental situation of our object rendering. For example, you want to put your object and the environmental around of your objects is a different situation, yeah, to give different impressions of your product or 3D object. And actually, the rendering is one process to make your object becomes more realistic, yeah, more impressions, and more detail, rather than without render. If you just you design and after you make a screenshot, so your product, your objects will not seems like real because we don't put a rendering process, we don't put the lighting, we don't put the environmental and the color for rendering. It seems not better than we use a render process, right? Let's we continue. Okay, when you see here, here is without render, yeah. This object is without render. The first object, this is with render. So you can see when you put a different material, lighting, and also the image rendering color, yeah. So it's give you more impression rather than this object, right? And you can see this is different type of render. This is blender render. This is a cycle renders, which you can see here. Lighting is already inside of the object, yeah, is in this figure, and this one is without lighting. So it will be give you sorry, it will give you different impressions if you make a different type of render. All right, the industries utilizing the 3D renderings are architecture, engineering, marketing, advertising, cinema, and gaming. A a renderer is utilized to figure the look of the materials joined to the article in the skin and how lighting and shadow are ascertained in view of lights put in a skin. Okay, when you see a realistic rendering of a 3D models can often give a product team or prospective client a clearer visions of conceptual design than a plot drawing. Okay, this is only uh, explanation, right? This is you have a 3D object like this, but this one only like a sketching, yeah, rather than you give this with the different with the shadow, lighting, coloring, and different shape. This is more seems more realistic, yeah, rather than only this one, right? So rendering is a uh, good activity that give you more valuable information of your product. Okay, the rendering called at the simulation of realistic lighting, shadow, atmosphere, color, texture, and optical effect, such as the reflections of light or motion blur seen on moving object. Or the rendering might not be realistic at all and could be designed to appear as a painting or abstract image. So in here, uh, this is depend on of our objective of rendering. If you want to make your objects become cartoon and you want to make your object becomes what is that, sketching, so the result will be same like that. But the rendering also actually can be used for to give to serve our product become more realistic. So here the rendering is depend on your the objective. Yeah, so it can be more realistic, and also it can be not more realistic at all, or you just want to make it as a cartoon skin, right? Rendering produce a finished image. You see, the closer the rendering is to create a natural skins, the more complex it is, and the longer it takes to render the skin. Rendering the skins to a file may include such things as a background, output size, compressions, file type, and output path. Rendering previews are small and quick to check your skin prior to doing a full render. So in here, the more complex of our object, the more color, the more lighting, it will take more time to make a rendering. So here, when you want to render, it is better the quality of our computers, the specification of our computer has a good specification. For example, like memory and VGA, yeah, the and also what is that? The RAM, yeah, and the important is the VGA quality, yeah, and also the RAM. It make our rendering process become faster. Rendering the skins to a file may include such things background. So when you render a product, you can give the environmental situations. For example, this product, okay, it can be like this, and also you can put the another background behind of this object, right? So the smaller image, the faster you can make a render. Yeah, but with the high quality rendering with the high image, so the rendering process will take a longer time. The final goal of rendering is to create an artistic or photorealistic presentations quality image. You might need to create many renderings before you reach the goal. Important aspect that should be considered for rendering. Okay, okay, right. Here, surface may have a single color or they may have a multiple color pattern, which are commonly referred to a texture. Here is, for example, is texture and lighting and coloring rendering, and also for material. Yeah, materials like metal, which seems to be one's color, when closely examined, reveal varying shades and color mix in random pattern. Okay, see, this is kind of rendering. You can see. Okay, this is a texture rendering. Feeling of this object will be different, right? Okay, when we put this one as a metal, this is seems like words rendering material. Okay, the most basics of texture is 2D picture, often saved as JPEG, BMP on TGA file, and so forth. So the output of image rendering, it can be what is that? JPEG file, BMP file, yeah, and also TIFF file, and so forth. Yeah? Opacity maps control whether a material is opaque, transparent, or translucent. Adding texture to the objects is an extremely important for of making object looks real. So this one is a transparent rendering object. Yeah. Okay. And this is kind of material bumping. What's that? Rendering process. Bumps may simulate the roughness of surface even though the surface are perfectly flat. Yeah. Okay, and then bumps make an object appear to have a bumpy or irregular surface. This is possible because higher areas are light and lower areas are dark. Surface roughness might include the unevenness of brick surface, the width of the fabric, and bumps of an orange. Okay, later this one I will show you. Actually, bumping to make the object becomes more reality. Yeah, it's become has a roundness. Okay, when you see our previous lectures about tire, so the surface of the tire will seems more reality because of bumping process. Okay, this is, you can see, this is with bump, this is without bump, this is different roundness, right? So it will give you more impressions when you put the bumps. Texture mapping, you can see, I already explained to you. We can change or select a different material when before we do rendering. This is lighting. Lighting is also important when we want to create rendering. Okay, ecological and posture setting of the rendering can be adjusted to control the final rendering feature. And high quality 3D scans rendering can take many days for preparing a single picture. So you can see one image, one picture, when you want to make a very clear and very seems like a reality, it's take almost 1 day, yeah, and even more and many days to render. So before we render, make sure that we have set everything becomes good view before we do rendering. Yeah? Use environmental feature to set up image-based lighting, IBL, lighting exposure and background image. You can enhance rendering image with environmental effect, such as image-based lighting by adding bitmap image to scans as a background. Okay, later I will show you. Image-based lighting. So this one, you need to set the positions of the lighting before you do rendering. If the objects needs details, so you need to put good lighting in the specific position of the lighting for the object. Yeah. So ensure that you want to show what part in the object that you want to give the lighting before you do rendering. This is the exposure with white balance. Yeah. Okay, I just want to show the example. Okay, this is different color. Yeah. This is environmental exposure and lighting rendering. This is background. You see, this one is the one object with the different background. It can be changed here in the software. Okay, background work best when you are rendering still image or animations in which the view doesn't change or the camera doesn't move. One set background can be associated with names, view, or camera and is saved with the drawing. All background types, with exceptions of an image-based lighting map, can be set from the view manager. Okay, later we will see how to make an environmental rendering. All right, let's we check a little bit how to do rendering actually. Okay, let's we check. We go to this object and this is actually two object, and this is assembly with assembly skin. Yeah, this is a one tire and this is the sport rim. Okay, this tire actually, this sport rim, we can change the color, and for example here we use here. Okay, all right, and this one with a texture and also with a black color, so you can make it become more realistic. We can use what is that, we try to give black color. Yeah, okay, give the black color, black rubber black. Okay, okay, and we try to give a shadow here. Okay, shadow. Before we do rendering, we need to set up everything. Okay, and then this shadow, actually we can set the position of shadow, for example. Yeah, the position of shadow, for example, the density like this, become very dark, and you want to make it like this, and the softness, actually you can see, blur or not, see, like this. Okay, for lighting, you can try to change the lighting like this, yeah. Okay, like two also same, yeah. Okay, you want to change the color, so can, seems like this, but I don't like this. I just want to make it become white. Okay, okay, and then we save and close. All right. Okay, this is our object, and okay, try to mm, make a reflection. Give the reflection. Okay, seems like a mirror or something like this. Yeah. So it will be like this, and then we can, all right, and we try to give the perspective. You can also give the ground plane like this. Okay, when you see the ground is not touching like this, you can change the ground, make it the ground touch the tire. How to do this? You go to setting and give the offset something. For example, here we increase the offset become 1. Okay, minus. So this one is become -1, -2, -3. Okay, seems -3. Okay, -3, -4. We see. We put it -4. Okay, -4 and apply. Okay, seems okay now. Because when after we do rendering, we will put the environment, so the tire will touch the position of the surface in the bottom, yeah. Okay, and we go to check the environment, and then we do Inventor Studio. Wait a little bit, waiting. Okay, right, and then we try to give the studio lighting and choose what kind of lighting you want to put. For example, you want to put this one old warehouse, and we activate this. Okay, and we change it a bit, the color, for example. Yeah. I mean, sorry, the exposure rotations of the shadow and the scale, and want to see here. Okay, if you want to increase, because our scale of our tire is small, so we will increase. If you want to make our object become high, so we can give the higher scale of our object. See, this one become big, and then we can reduce it become small, yeah, so it's more realistic. And also you can try to another environment here. For example, here photo booth. Okay, become like this. You can change also for dark sky. Okay, become like this. Exposure you can check, but this one is not good. And rim highlight. Sorry. Rim highlight. It's become like this. It's become very clear. And You can change another part, soft light. Okay, full light, road, become like this, and make a rotation little bit. So become like this, yeah. And we change the expression, shadow, give the shadow. Right. Okay, and done. Yes. So this is our environment. You see, the environment is like this. Yeah, and also our object become like this. Okay, and if you want to change the color also can. Okay, depend on you. Just click this and give the different color, for example green. And if you want to change also, I think this one is not good. I want to make it more realistic. I will use, what is that? Metal. Sorry, metal. Oh, okay. Maybe this one. No, don't like. Okay, this one. Okay, and then let's we do little bit local lighting. Local lighting is a simple lighting that show to the spot of our object that we want to give the lighting. Okay, for example here, our target is this. Okay, see, this is the lighting seems changed, and we give the illuminate the color. For example, the color is yellow, little bit yellow. Oh, not good. Just white, yeah. Okay, and click this. Sorry, and we give the lighting here. And we can put it like this. Okay. Oh. Okay, like this. And the object will be this. Okay. And you can increase this actually. After you click OK, and then you can click increase this. Seems not good. Use this environment. You just use a different environment. Yeah. Old White House. This one. Okay, and then set. Done. Okay, this is the little bit skins of the color. I mean skins for the lightings rendering. Yeah. Okay, try we just try do if you want to. I mean, so if you want to make it enable or disappear, you just click here, lighting and visible like this. And then we try to do rendering, image rendering. Okay, the position is like this. Actually, we can put the camera here based on our, okay, like this. This is the position of the camera, and sorry, click OK. Click OK here, and we can do image rendering. render image. If you want to current view like this, or if you want to make based on our setting camera, okay, like this. I prefer to use based on our current view. I will render it like this, and I will show a little bit like this. Okay, and then I will click. Okay, the camera. I mean the figure, how big the size of your figure here, and click render. I think tuh. Ayo lagi nggak kerja ntar. Okay, this is the rendering process. Okay, you can hear the iterations. The more iteration you make, the more clear of the more detail of our object. Yeah, this is seems how 1 or 2 minutes to render. Okay, seems the process of rendering now almost finished, and then the object become more detailed. Wait, yeah, we wait. So almost finished, yeah. After this, we try to make one camera animation for this rendering. I mean, for rendering the animations, but this one only for 30 degrees, 360 degrees camera for rendering. Okay, and we save it. Finish, yeah. Higher rendering. Higher rendering. Put it in desktop. Save. And we close it. All right. Finish. And we try to make one camera. I mean for 300 degrees animations. Just click this and give new animation, and give this, make one new animation. This camera. Okay, and then we double click this. We use this timeline. This one we use 30 seconds. We just use this one 10 seconds. Click OK, and then we open this, and we do camera here, lighting, sorry, camera, and create animation camera. This one turnable. Okay, we just use this y origins, and then plus minus, and click OK. Let's see. The camera is like this. Okay, and then we can see from current view, we can set actually the camera positions. Yeah, the camera position we can edit, and we can increase the position of camera if you want to, because it's more detail. It will be more detail like this. Yeah, and you can see what happened. Current view we can change it become camera one. You can see here. Sorry, camera one, and try to run it. Okay, this is the camera. Okay, and you can reverse it. Okay. Okay, and then that's it. Thank you very much and see you later.